Hello, witches and those who love us. Grab your goat, grab a knife, grab some mushrooms, maybe some moss, and a stick or two, because it is time for the Witches Movie Coven. Yes, witches, real witches, talking about witches, real witches in movies. Yes, yes, yes. So I am Patti Negri. I am one of your hosts. You might know me from The Witching Hour, from television, from YouTube, from my books, Old World Magic for the Modern World, or Dollcraft, or my school, University Magicas, or my streaming network, Paraflix, or more likely from bathroom walls across America. But I am happy to be here with you, and I'm happy that you guys came. So keep that chat room going. So now let me introduce you to my co-host, starting with handsome Richard-Lael.
Thank you. I am Richard-Lael. Richard-Lael is one name. It is not two names. If I were just Richard, I'd be a... That's right. You can see right there. One name, Richard-Lael. I am known as the Gentleman Psychic. I'm a psychic medium. Used to be a psychic small, but I gained some weight. But I'm working on it. See, I added that. I am known also from Ghost Adventures and University of Magicus. I am also known from a few other things. But I am here with you. This is my favorite part of the week. Oh, by the way, if you want to sleep with me, you can certainly sleep with me. You'll go right over here to Mystery Control, and you can get a pillow with my face on it. You can, at some point, hopefully, get into Patty's panties. You can get our books. You can get quotes by Heather, quotes by Courtney, books by Heather, 10 books by Jason Mankey. You can get all of those things. You can get all of the merch right down there. Also, keep those comments coming. It helps us to continue to give great entertainment for viewers.
Thank you so much. And now the mother of dragons herself, Courtney Buckley.
That's me, Courtney Buckley, Ghost Bait on Scared and Alone. And don't worry, for anyone in the chat who might be wondering where Jason is, he's right here.
Hi, Jason.
I did not bring any reptiles with me today. I thought one of the snakes would be fitting, but they all ate today and cannot be handled after that. So just me, flying solo.
Okay, thank you very much. Now, as you can see, Jason is not here. He is in Courtney's jar. He is busy in Courtney's jar, and beautiful Heather is traveling the world, literally on the other side of the planet somewhere. But never lost. We have two of our favorite regular guests. Well, actually, one of them isn't. Tabitha Meadows, you know, she is here every week and running our beautiful chat room. Let's move it over to you, Tabitha.
Hi, I am Tabitha Meadows. I am a psychic and medium and known as the music medium now. I have finally named myself. I'm so happy to be back here with you guys on film instead of in comments, but I do love comments, don't get me wrong. And I'm excited to be here on a day of a new moon and also the eclipse. Wow, what a crazy day. Thank you for having me back.
Always. Thank you so much. And last and never, you're getting to know her very well, the wonderful Scarlet Amaris.
Thank you. I'm Scarlet Amaris. I'm a screen and television writer. I'm also a novelist and have directed music videos and also a practicing witch, and I'm thrilled to be here. I love talking about movies and witchcraft, and this movie is going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait.
Thank you. Yes. And speaking of this week's movie, it is Mother of Flies. It's a new film out just this past year. Mother of Flies. I hope you all watched it. We did. So again, keep the chat room going. So now, Richard-Lael, we don't have all of Heather's stuff, but we're going to do the best we can without Heather and Jason. All of five of us together might make up for a portion of them. But Richard-Lael, you might have our beautiful synopsis.
The green is here.
Surprise, surprise.
Hey, everyone.
Hi.
I'm coming to you live from Osaka, where we got a few minutes before our train is leaving for Kyoto. So I figured I'd pop in and say hello to everybody.
Yay!
Hi.
This is perfect.
We missed you.
We just said you were on the other side of the world, and here you are.
You conjured me. Yeah,
We are very powerful witches.
I've been yeah, you guys are powerful witches. You can conjure me from all the way on the other side of the world.
So how is it? How's your trip?
Oh, it's been fabulous. We've been to several cities now. We're kind of doing the tourist thing, but we got to see some wonderful things because my son lives here, so I'm getting a little taste of life living here as well as just the tourist stuff, which is most important to me. But we've gone to some historic sites. We've tasted a lot of delicious foods. We went to the biggest Tanabata festivals. It's lots and lots of people. It's very, very hot in August and very, very steamy, but just a wonderful place, just an absolute wonderful country. We're having the best time, and I get to share it with my son, who's sitting here lounging, planning our train trip. You can come over and say hi if you want.
I'm good.
He's good.
I'll say hello from over here.
Well, you got to come and show your face if you're going to say hello. So, but yeah, miss you guys so much. And I hope you guys, I didn't get to see this movie, but I love the folks. So I'm kind of disappointed I can't be there to share. I know all of you guys are going to have wonderful things to say.
Thank you.
Are we?
I was going to say,
We are.
Well, wonderful things to say doesn't necessarily mean good. You'll all have good, wonderful impressions and things to share, whether it's good or bad. I'll watch the program on the flip side.
Wow. Real quick, I want to say Colin is in the middle of the eclipse right now. Look in the chat room. 93% coverage of the sun right now in Ireland.
Wow.
Wow. So it's going on right now.
Total eclipse of the heart.
It was here earlier, and I almost.
Go ahead.
It was here earlier, and I tried to look for it, but it was like barely covered, and I almost got in a car accident trying to see it out the window, and I couldn't. It didn't look any different, so I was disappointed. But in addition to the planetary alignment this morning, and the eclipse today, and the new moon, it's also the peak of the Perseid meteor shower. So I haven't slept in days because the universe is on its what.
Well, if everybody's up all night, I'm going to be on Coast to Coast tonight from midnight until 2 a.m. Pacific time, which is 3 a.m. to 5 a.m. Eastern time and everywhere. So all you night owls who can't sleep because of meteor showers, tune on George Norrie and me, Coast to Coast. Just saying. I just had to throw that in. Anyway, we're glad you're here. What a nice surprise. Heather. All right. Now you get to also help listen to Richard-Lael is going to give us our fine synopsis.
I certainly will. Are you ready? I don't think you're ready. The synopsis. They're creepy and they're kooky, mysterious and spooky. They're altogether ooky. They're not that Addams family. And I know the confusion. I sense the confusion because I was confused when I think it was Scarlet who said it's the Addams family. And I went, wait, what? I love the Addams family. And then I was sort of not disappointed, but somewhat, well, I was disappointed because it wasn't the Addams family. But if I have to do those East Coast 1D Addams, I guess this is okay. Now, to the actual plot line of the film. So a young woman is diagnosed with cancer, and she obviously is afraid for her life and has decided that she wants to live. She's undergone all kinds of chemotherapy, and it is inoperable, and she has been handed the death sentence. And so she somehow has contacted this woman who lives in the Catskills, though it doesn't say that, but we know that they do. Has contacted this witch of the woods, as the case were, who will do this thing for free and will remove the cancer from her body. By the by, I will say, there's no way that those two are mother and daughter in real life. They look completely different. I would never have thought that they No, they look identical. So that was the one thing that did take me out of the story. But I will tell you, they ended up by going through this 3-day trial in the woods with this recluse of a woman. And as you go along, you find that there are no bathrooms. They are eating mushrooms and moss, and they're sleeping basically in the woods. And at some point, we start finding that the woman doesn't eat, the witch doesn't eat at all, and then she not only communes with serpents but swallows them whole, and has poisoned with I can't remember the root now. I should know the root, but hemlock. Poisonous hemlock has poisoned the father so that he can have time to reflect. Meanwhile, the girl has been taken out into the woods, and the ritual has begun, and we find out that the witch is in fact a dead witch. She's a dead witch from 200 years ago, who had, through the power of necromancy, raised a child from the dead and was going to raise it as her own. And the village people, who listens to them these days, the village people decided that they were going to murder, unalive this wise woman, and then the legend had it they would keep stones to hold her in her grave. And so what has happened is that this girl has had dreams and has communicated, and they had cried through the centuries so that she could have a baby. And so she does actually take that cancerous tumor out of the body, with all kinds of serpent venom and things. And then it actually becomes a full-on, I would say, homunculus. It becomes a baby. And then she can rest in her grave. At the end, they have escaped. We find that there is no house. We find that the witch has been dead for 200 years. It ends like Psycho. For a long time, the girl is staring into the camera. And I half expected her to say, "Look at that fly. I wouldn't hurt that fly. Mother wouldn't hurt a fly." I expected that, but that's not what happened. She actually ended up by, they were at the doctor's office, and the doctor was impressed that there was no scar tissue from the chemotherapy. The cancerous tumor had been removed completely. There was no sign. She was completely healthy, and they were going to do more tests. And it ends with the fact that she believed, and that was what gave them power.
Mhm.
Also, there's a lot of music, but it's their music, and that's also worth noting. That's it.
Thank you very much. Now we don't have Heather's 5 things, but we have different things. Who said that? Tabitha, you had some. You want to start out with some things?
But can I just want to interrupt because I need to go. So, because we got to catch a train, but I wanted to just interrupt really quick before at a good spot and say, love you guys. You guys are Richard-Lael. That was beautiful. I completely understand the film now. I don't need to watch it, but I miss everybody. I miss everybody in the chat. I miss my coven, and follow me on Facebook and Blue Sky. I'm posting pictures, and I'll be back very soon. But have a great show tonight, guys.
Bye, Heather.
Bye.
Okay, here we go. All right.
Go.
Tabitha, you said you had some things that you wanted to talk. Courtney did, and I know Scarlet does lots of things to say. So we'll just start with you, Tabitha.
I actually loved this movie from the standpoint of a medium. The witch starts talking in poems and rhymes and what seems like it could be riddles for some people. But when we finally figure out that she's been dead for a couple 100 years, it starts to make all the sense in the world from a mediumistic standpoint, because oftentimes when speaking to those who've transitioned, they don't, you don't get a whole dissertation out of them. You're going to get a few words and lyrics. I get lyrics, a couple sentences. Some people do get more than that, but that really hit home for me and made a lot of sense in this movie. That's one of the things that I liked about this, was the death and mediumistic crossovers in this.
Thank you. Yeah, I liked the death, life, death, renewal, flies, decay. I actually got past the dead rats in the beginning and the deer, because they brought it back up, but I got past all of that. And I do know, and I think I'm going to hold back because I know Scarlett probably knows a lot more. This Adams family, this is a family, and they had their own personal cancer experiences. That's what this is from. That cottage really is their cottage in the Catskills. It's like, that just blew me away, all this stuff. So go, Scarlett, you're more expert, I'm sure, on all that.
I actually didn't know that about the cottage, but I'm not surprised. Yeah, the Addams Family, I think this is their 8th movie, I believe. They also did Hellbender, which I think you guys did as well, which I love Hellbender. And I think that was my entry point maybe into them. Like, that's when they first came on my radar. But they were also, they have Hellbender, which is their music too, and they were doing their own music videos. And their music videos are incredibly atmospheric and beautiful. And I just love the fact that I wish it was my family. I want a mom and a dad and sisters and that make horror films and make music videos together, and write together, and they edit, they do everything. It really is like a family thing, and they've been wildly successful. And they're the loveliest people ever. When I posted about this, I tagged them and they wrote me and were so excited that we were doing this movie. And it was like, it's just fantastic to see people, that are good people making really smart, good horror. And something that I love about this, there's a couple of moments in the construction of the writing that are a little bit funny, but you cannot fault the love with which this film is crafted. Every shot is just meticulously beautiful. It is so atmospheric. Toby Poser is a force of nature. She's my witch in the woods, I want a witch in the woods like that. She's just amazing. Absolutely amazing. Zelda is amazing. They're all amazing in this. She's so beautiful, and she just pulls it off. And I love the atmosphere of, there's this, this creeping sense of dread to this whole thing that is pretty carefully crafted too. It is the imagery and it is the music, but it's also the pacing. So there's a lot of really smart things that are done in this movie that I really appreciate, because so much of modern horror is so jump scare, narrative kill structure. And they really take their time in building something that is just a little bit more artful. It may still be a simple storyline, but there's something that is just a little bit elevated. It has a lovely nod to art house. It has a lovely, it is definitely a folk horror tale. But yeah, I think that they're enormously talented, and they keep coming out with greats. I can't wait to see what they do next. They just premiered a film at Fantasia, so they're just turning them out, and they're knocking it out of the park each time.
And this one got huge awards, right? I think it got huge awards at Fantasia and
I know that it played all the big festivals. I know that that it was universally liked too. And I appreciate that I can watch this. And yes, there's a couple of things where I'm yeah, they're getting into like kind of dodgy witchcraft territory, but I don't get mad. They're not practicing the ancient Wiccas. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel
Ancient
like
French Wiccans, yeah.
yeah, the ancient French Wiccans, or the Wiccas, the ancient Wiccas. Like, I feel like somebody's done their research, you know, and like they're trying to really pay homage to witchcraft and to folk horror, in doing so quite like cleverly and beautifully.
I have to say that I have lived in New York. I have never seen the Catskill Mountains, but I've seen the Catskill mice, though.
Yikes. No. I'm
Well,
about to
go
take
get us
Jason's name out and put someone else's in.
You can fit 2 in there, Courtney. You can.
It's a
I
big
can
jar.
fit a lot. I got a big jar.
I must say,
Yeah.
I'm very elemental witch. I'm very all about nature, and I love forests. But I realize I'm afraid of forest. Because I'm a city girl. I am a city girl. So to me, and I've been in a few I've been in the Hoibachu forest in Romania, one of the scariest, deepest ones in the world. But I was scared to death this whole film. It's the forest, its own character, the beauty and the terror and the dread and everything. I just loved it. And I was actually I kept waiting for something bad to happen, but when it wrapped up that she was cured, whatever methods that was. Is this a good witch? Is this a bad witch? Yes. Looking at these moral choices of if somebody's going to use, I don't know. I can't even say the words, and I will mute myself for a moment.
I think go ahead.
All right, so I have a lot of things to say, actually. First and foremost, I want it on the record that I did pay attention this whole movie, and I watched it from start to finish. So if that's not a miracle, I don't know what is. I have never related so hard to a witch in a witch movie. I want to be her when I grow up. I love everything about her. We started off real strong with the necrophilia. I could do without that, but by the time and I have the opening dialogue, like the spell that she's saying, or the whatever poem she's reading, was like I had to stop and wind it. So I watched that like 3 times because I instantly was like, okay, like I'm locked in. And then there was all the gross maggots, and I said out loud, like, wow, this is disgusting. I'm intrigued. I like this. Every shot, like you were saying, Scarlett, every shot feels super intentional. The atmosphere is spooky and great, and like heavy, but in a good way. Like it just carries so much weight. And every time, I forget her name, but the witch was on the screen, I was locked in. I can't, Solveig, thank you. I can't say that about the other 2, because every time they were on the screen, I was like, oh, okay, here we go. Like, give me the witch back, give me the bones. Like there was a couple scenes that were okay, but like for the most part, it felt like an award-winning actress playing the witch, and then that's where the budget went, so they just hired people out of like theater college. But having said that, I think that the whole premise was amazing. I think that I didn't see it coming, so I was actually genuinely surprised, but again, not in a jump scare. Like I wasn't jump scared, but I was chilled. And I made a noise out loud when that happened, and we realized that she had been dead all that time. And then, like Tabitha said, things started making sense. And I love that. And I know I complain a lot when movies are slow, but not boring. Like this was slow on purpose in a very well thought out way. And it was the good kind of slow burn. There was a moment, and I wrote it down in my notes, where I forget what was happening, but maybe they were in the car or something, and it was to the to the film, and then some songs started playing, and I was like, did Twilight come on? Like, what is this? So it was a little Twilight-esque for like a hot second there. I got excited. But yeah, I think one of my favorite things about Solveig and the actress that plays her is the way that she portrays emotion over the screen. So when she's talking to the girl with cancer, she's very like nurturing, and at first at least she's very nurturing, and she has this like calming air about her. So I would get nervous and have like anxiety about what was going on, and then she'd say something to her, and I'd be like, oh, I'm soothed. Mother of the Woods has told me everything's going to be fine. And like I would actually physically feel these feelings. And then she'd talk to the father, and I'd be like, oh my God, we're back. She's bad, and I don't like her, and she's scary. And I will say one of the coolest things, I think, and I feel like if it had been done any other way, it would have made me roll my eyes and been terrible. But when she flew, there was that like almost out of focus shot of her like leaning over the thing, and then she just took off in the air, and it was so fast you almost didn't see it happen. Like, did a double take. But then when the girl is running through the woods and you can see her in the background like flying past, and it was so well done. Like, so it was not over the top, it wasn't like overly obviously CGI, it wasn't anything, like it was just a subtle creep factor to it. And I'll tell you, I just like, she's my role model. I just want to be her. And now that I live in the woods, I can be her. Oh, that was the other thing I was going to say too. Scarlett, you were talking about the magic. And you know what? I feel like I really related to her brand of magic, because I don't know what she was doing, but it felt so personal to her. And just she was doing what was coming through her. And that feels like how I practice. So I don't, I have books behind me that I want to, but I usually don't. I usually just feel what needs to be done, and I do it with whatever I have laying around. So now I'm about to go out in the woods and get a pointy stick, and then I'm going to stab Jason's thing with that, and we'll see what happens. Because I just call me Solveig, because that's my speech.
I loved when she's doing the first sort of prayer ritual thing around the table, and it's the sing-songy poem, and she's sort of doing these things, and the father is so confused, who is obviously a non-believer in any of it. And when she closes the prayer, he says amen, and she says, take it back, take it back, take it back, take that back. And he's like, what? Spit it out, spit it on the floor where that belongs. No idolatry at the table. I kind of laughed. As a former Christian, I laughed at that one. I laughed.
Oh, Richard-Lael, I have a fun story for you about that. Nathan has been visiting colleges, and he was a Catholic school, a Catholic private college reached out to him. So we went to the open house. Now we're in the auditorium. I, of course, am dressed all in black with my Black Phillip tattoo, and he kept threatening me that I do not pull your sleeve up because I will be embarrassed. And it wasn't like overtly religious, which I was very worried about, until the priest went up and did like a blessing for everyone. And so it's like prayer. But Nathan just, I would take him to church if that's what he wanted to do, but he's never wanted to go to church. It was a prayer and says amen, and then Nathan starts clapping. So I have to reach over and go, that's a prayer. Like, just very deadpan. I was like, I put my arm in front of him like the map. But he got some other kid didn't know what to do in the audience, and also followed his lead and started clapping. And we've laughed about that ever since.
Nice.
So I'm at least going to spit on it. But
and there should be good claps after a good prayer or song, or a million times I've been in like that kind of typical ritual. It's like, why don't you applaud after that beautiful solo or whatever? And you don't. Beautiful, all that stuff, Courtney. I agree most of it, except that I really liked the father and the daughter characters. I bought to them. I saw what a father would. I mean, you see, I can't imagine anything worse than your child being terminal and what to do, and wanting to go off in the woods with this weirdest woman you've ever seen. I saw what he went through, and again, that the girl, I think they were like underplayed and to a good extent and beautiful. So I bought all the characters.
I think my problem was mostly with the dad. Like the daughter was all right, but it was like the dad just had, it was like Z-list acting. Like I didn't feel, when he was giving his lines, it felt like he was reading them off of a script. So, I don't know. That's where I had it took me out of it, and I didn't want to be taken out of it. I wanted to live there.
I think that Patti brought up something really interesting too, in saying that something I really enjoyed about the magic is they don't portray it as either good or bad. Like the magic is the force to be used how it is going to be used. And I think that's what rings so true about it. Yeah, she has, like, she's an ambivalent character. We can't quite tell which side she's on, but she's using the power as it has to be used. And I think that's, like, we don't get caught up in the morality of it because she's just staying to the tradition of it. And I think that's something that really works in its favor. I also, the first movie that I ever co-wrote that got made was called The Mother of Toads. It's part of Theater Bizarre. So I really wish that the Mother of Toads would play with the Mother of Flies, because I think it would be a great double bill. So I'm just putting it out there.
Okay.
I want to watch
your
Mother
honest way. I want to watch The Mother of Toads. That is great. Thank you for that, Scarlett. Much better spoken. My intent, much better spoken. I'm not speaking well today, so it's going to be a fun day.
I feel like the father was a conduit for the daughter's healing. And from my perspective, as someone who holds space for people who are wanting to heal themselves, that's something that you often find in practices like Reiki, where what happens is you show up and you become the conduit. You can call in all of your, whatever you want to call them, your angels, your guides, your spirit teams, and they all show up. And what occurs after that is their business. You have nothing to, well, you can have something to do with it, but for the most part, it's your job to show up and just be there. So I felt like that's who he was in this movie. He was the conduit for his daughter, and he needed that. And I have a theory of how she met the witch. So she's walking towards ever so close to death. So she does what someone might do when they are about to cross and they don't necessarily want to. If you feel like you want to be here and you have more life to live, you cry out to whoever, anyone who you believe in, someone who might help you. And the witch, she is the one that heard her cries. She's the one that showed up for her, and that happens a lot of times in mediumship too. I can be here in my house, and I can tap into another house, and I can speak to all, or the spirit that will speak to me from that house. I can speak to them. So I feel like somewhere out there in the ether, they met up and connected, and that's how it started. That's my theory. And
I'm sorry.
Sorry.
No, I was going to agree with you, but there's something I want to pin in that one.
So this time I really loved how they didn't focus on the house as a sentient being so much as, like you were talking about, Patti, the elemental elements of this. Like everything was of everything. And one of the real important things that she talks about before they get into space, when she, she slides that ring on her, is not knowing. It's like it's me, it's you, and it's we. Where do I begin, and where do you end? Where do you end and I begin? And we are all one, and we are all a part of all of everything that's going on here. And so she sets her up to come walk into that space beyond liminal, because she's tipping over just a little bit more there. And she opens the door to that. And when they start walking to the woods, it also allows the father to come along, as like, I guess people in video, when you're playing a video game, you're like a first person shooter, but you can always have this healer with you as well. So he was walking along with that. What I also found cool about this is that 200 years, that's a long time for spirits will linger for a long time if they've had some sort of trauma. What I thought was really cool is every rock that they kept placing on top of her grave unknowingly kept giving her the energy that she needed, and that's speaking her. They kept speaking her into existence. Every time a kid would come out there and place a rock on top of her, that's what gave her so much energy. That's what gave her power, and that's what I believe allowed them to connect to one another from a long distance, so that she could help her to heal. The witch didn't heal her. She had to want to heal herself. She had to believe that it could happen, and she did. So
I wanted to say about the pin, about how they met. You are right. I would also like to add the power of dreams, because when we are slumbering, our breath slows, our heart rate slows, and we oftentimes travel. And time is an illusion. In my own world, I have been at the Chateau de Versailles. I have been when the Red Baron flew over Germany. I have seen the Titanic. I have seen these things, and I have interacted with people in these times. I've interacted with people in future times, because time is an illusion. It is a persistent illusion. And when I do mediumship, I tell people, they say, well, do you believe you talk to the dead? And I say, I don't know. I believe that time is an illusion, and that I don't know personally if I'm talking to someone in their sleep. I don't know if they're dreaming or if we are dreaming. I don't know if they're alive or dead. I don't know. I'm just telling you what I see. And because I see these things, I'll say what I see. And I'm playing Pictionary with the universe. So however it may be, but I do think that, yes, when one is at the state where they are facing their mortality, it also alters the mind so that the dreams become a little bit more erratic. And I also think that in this one, they connected both because they had shared traumas and because the girl needed to be healed. She needed to heal herself. She needed something to believe in. So yes, I agree with you on that. Just a little add that also maybe they were dream walkers.
Well, I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. And I, as a medium, also say time and space is an illusion. There is no time and space. So what you're saying, if they're dead, I think they're dead and they haven't been born yet, and they're everywhere in the middle of that. But yeah, I think the girl found the witch as much as the witch, because the witch was very adamant about that. No, you came to me. You came to me. The girl was looking for an answer. So I agree with you too, Tabitha. So there's no curse.
I want to hop I want to hop in and say real quick that the part of that I like the most is she kept repeating, I did what they asked. I gave them what they asked for. I gave them what they asked for. I gave them what they asked for. And that's exactly what she did. Like, and that was the best part, I think, of the ending. And I said it out loud. She did what they asked. She gave them what they asked for. And everything has a price. And that was her price, but everything worked out. I think that, you could also look at it through like a lens of like that residual energy almost. Obviously not, because it's a whole intelligence thing, but it's her trying to rewrite the past and finding an opportunity in that cry for help, in that, whatever. And I think they said something about that too, where she said, you heard me and I heard you. And it's that like opportunistic, almost like I get to fix it, I get to rewrite it. And she did it again. She kept, that was important to her. I did what they asked. I did what they asked. I did what they asked. And she did it again. And this time it was different. This time everyone got the outcome that they wanted. So I think that also speaks to like that ambiguous character that she is. She's not good. She's not bad. They came to her. They hid their crosses in their shirts, and they smothered their religion that they believed so wholeheartedly in, that made them shun her in the first place, to ask for her help. And she did what they asked. And it wasn't pretty. And it wasn't exactly the way that they wanted it. And just as anything that we ask the universe for, sometimes it doesn't come the way you want it. It comes the way you need it, or the way that you get it. So, it wasn't pretty, and she took, or tried to take her costs for it. But I think there's something to that too. I thought that was.
I think too that it was really interesting the way that they ended it too, because it's kind of taking a chance in today's market, like to end on such a beautiful note. And I think that it works perfectly. Like, I think that is something that also elevates this movie, is that, that it does come down to belief. And instead of like having this very cut and dry or explosive ending, it was a little bit quieter. But then it fit the story. And then look, we're still talking about this now. We've been talking about it for the last 15 minutes because of that ending, because of the belief, and we know as magic practitioners that magic doesn't know black or white. It only the practitioner does. She did what she had to do. She did what they asked. And I think that's exactly it. I also want to say one other thing about the effects in this movie. This is one of my most favorite poisoning scenes that I have seen in a long time. Like, the amount of snot on the dad. Yes. I mean, it was so gross, but it wasn't uncalled for. Like, that's how it would go. I mean, it was just like, ew, but at the same time, I'm like, that's what happens. It didn't feel gratuitous to me, even though it was really disgusting. Like, I thought it was well placed.
Didn't you feel though? I
almost threw up.
I almost did too. I almost did too. Actually, I have a cast iron stomach. It almost made me sick. But I actually thought for just a split second, I thought that she had actually poisoned the father to death, and she was going to go out into the woods and she was going to say, "Now you're my daughter." That's what I thought.
There was another point too that was kind of gross when they first started out, and I think they were sitting out in front of the hotel, and they started joking about the daughter going to, or actually it was the restaurant. They started joking about the daughter going to use the bathroom and Jackson Pollock the bathroom. And I thought, oh my gosh, how disgusting. I was like, ooh. And then like 2 seconds later, I had to dial that all the way back, because as someone who lives with someone who is chronically ill, sometimes that's all you have. The pain is so much that sometimes all you have is the jokes that could get you through. And in that instance, I felt really bad, because for a couple of seconds, I lost my compassion and empathy. And if you're not someone who hasn't had to go through that or loves someone who has to go through that, you don't know. And so to the average person, it was gross and disgusting that she was going to Jackson Pollock the toilet. But then to myself and my partner, someone who has Crohn's, we totally understand that. So this movie hits a lot of different perspectives from that a standpoint of death. So I loved it even more. The jokes were, some of the things were really gross, but they were absolutely necessary.
And again, they were from their own cancer experiences. 2 of them had cancer. One had done the chemo and all that, and that's what he's going through, and one had surgery. So.
Yeah.
But I mean, what a beautiful thing though. Like you take these horrific life experiences and you create something out of them. Something that people talk about, something that people watch over and over again. Something that, like now we have Solvag, and Solvag is another one of the witches that I'm going to put, on the pedestal. Is I want to be that witch in the woods too. Like I kind of was for a while, but yeah, like she's up there. And I think that's
Scarlet, you're welcome to come over and go frolicking with me.
Okay, well, maybe we'll pick a full moon, like a really good one.
Ooh.
Okay. All right, cool.
I just, as someone who, this is a human, and I collect medical specimens. I have dead things in jars and on the walls and everything else, because I think it's beautiful. And I feel like things like this could be somewhere that nobody's appreciating it, but I love it, and I pour that love and energy into carry that on after they've passed and what have you, because to me these things are beautiful. And I think that's my favorite part of this whole movie, is no matter how gross it was, no matter how violent it got, no matter any of that, it made death beautiful. Like she all of the words that she spoke and the way she acted about it, it made it beautiful. And I think that there is beauty in death. And not to say we should all go out and find out, but that there are certain situations where it can be beautiful. And that was the thing that I took the most out of this movie, was that it sort of validated that for me, because sometimes people think I'm weird and whatever because of what I have and how I deal with it, but I think it's beautiful. Pretty validated that my one true hero, Mother of the Forest, also made death beautiful.
It is beautiful. I think that the way we've been taught and the way that we've been conditioned, I can only speak for what I know for myself living in the United States, is a whole lot different than some of the other cultures who treat death differently. And it is beautiful. And there's some cultures that bring out their dead from time to time, and they dress them up and they clean them up and they have conversations with them. And for us here, for whatever reason or another, it's just this whole really morbid outlook, and you have to be afraid of it. And there's not even a whole lot of help for people who are going through this process. I mean, I know that there are doulas and things of that nature, but there aren't nearly enough people to help people who are going through that process, and also their loved ones. Those people also need help through the process as well. And there's some friends of mine who started an initiative here in Virginia to try and change that, to try to change the way that we see death and to help people out and be where people need to be, to see that it can be beautiful. And we can hold space for people, and we can love them where they are and where they need to be. And I think that's important, that we do change the way we look at it and that we feel about death. Because I'm with you, Courtney. So I love you so much.
I do.
Death is beautiful.
I just want to say, whoever made that RFK comment, that
Yes,
was hilarious. I'm so sorry that I didn't mean to laugh in the middle of what you were saying, but that comment was so funny.
Incredible.
I'm not offended. I mean, everybody's
Speaking of death, I want to go back. Up on the scroll, Robert had asked about, he wasn't quite sure of the ending. They dug it out and they found her with a baby. What was the ending? The ending is she got her baby back.
Yeah.
You know, the
Baby back ribs.
Baby back.
Babies.
Yeah, in the afterlife, whatever they're doing, but the baby was in her arms. That was the happy ever after on the witch's POV. That's what I took from it.
It was manifested.
Yeah.
She wanted it so much.
Yeah.
Some medically, there's some I can't think of the word. The growth that was inside of her body. There have been times where some of those growths have been found with teeth in them and with appendages. So it made sense to me that she could turn that mass and love it and put her energy into it, and turn that mass and form it into a child just by her manifesting it and wanting it. She wanted it that bad that she formed that baby. And I thought that was very cool.
No, it does happen. That's people that ingest twins. Like they're twins and they get ingested in the womb and then they get taken out later on and it comes out as a tumor and it has teeth and whatever. But yeah, it's an ingested twin.
Yeah, one of my bestest friends, and I don't even know that she's ever been pregnant, whatever that was, had this tumor and they finally took it out and it had hair and teeth.
Yep.
It had hair and teeth.
My mom had that.
We could go
Bodies are amazing.
Make a babe.
Well, if anyone has one of those and can contain it in a jar and send, I will give you somewhere to send it, and then I will love it.
And feed it to your dragons. Anyway, we are flowing through time on this one.
No, I will.
Do we have any quotes, Miss Courtney? Do we have any quotes?
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. One of them, the last one, I would like to get tattooed on my body because I thought it was probably one of my favorite movie quotes of all time. But the first one is the opening bit where she said, "Life is rhythm, the heart a drum, but death knows only silence. To woo death, one must love it, lie with it for 3 days. Give your beating, bloody heart to it till death grows warm, till an ember sparks, the dead drum thumps, and the blood of life floods in." And that was one of my favorite overall little poems that she did. And then there was the dad and the daughter in the restaurant, and the waitress came up and asked, because everybody was in their business, which I thought was weird, but they said, "You here fishing, camping?" And he said, "No, we're just here for the Lyme's disease." And then she said, "Well, you're in the right neck of the woods for that." And then later on, she's like, "You here for whatever?" He said, "No, we saw a healer." She's like, "You're in the right neck of the woods for that." Okay.
That is so upstate New York.
Yeah. Yeah. When the daughter told the dad that Solveig was doing it for free, and he said, "Holy mind blown, are you serious? Nothing is for free ever." And then they walk in the house and the daughter says, "What are you alive?" And Solveig just like deadpan, like, "Oh my God, I love her." Just goes, "No." And then she said, "Oh, too bad." And then one of my favorite lines, "It's as beautiful dead as it was alive," which is true. And that's why I have dead things in my house. But then this last one is my literally one of my all-time favorite quotes, I think, ever. I want it on a t-shirt, on a billboard, tattooed on my forehead, is when the daughter is asking Solveig how she'll know it works, her spell works, and she said, "You'll live. You'll live. You'll grow old, and then you'll die. And all you lived and all you loved will make a home in your bones, and they'll know." And I literally just saying that feel emotional, like I'm about to be emotional. And I just, because I've said that maybe 2 times in my life, where I've driven an overwhelming sense of deja vu, but like a calling almost. Patti, it was when we were up in for the Paracon, and I crossed the Mackinac Bridge and was in the Upper Peninsula, and as soon as we crossed in, it was, I don't know, there was something about the weather, it was atmospheric, it was very Witch of the Woods, and I literally said out loud, I said, "My bones belong here. This is where my bones belong." And it was the weirdest feeling. I don't even get that in Salem, and I love Salem, but this is where my bones, it was like my bones remembered. It was very weird. But so that the fact that she said, all that you lived, all that you loved will make a home in your bones, and they'll know, was and that's it. And that's the bones know.
Have you ever heard the expression a hollow bone, Courtney? Becoming a hollow bone? Look it up. You're gonna like that. No, you don't have to do it now.
I'm doing it now.
A good thing for.
I have
Okay. Becoming a hollow bone. Yeah, research that. I feel, yeah.
All right. Well,
I love that.
That is beautiful. Before time's up, we have to vote on this film. Before it's the hour of cackling. So everybody grab a wand, grab a knife, grab a shroom. Grab anything that you can. I'm gonna grab
a what now?
Because everything. All right. Okay, got it. All right. Wands up, wands down. Now, all of you guys, you've been great in the chat room. Wands up, wands down.
Do you know why the wand is down? I was expecting an Addams Family movie with 2 Ds. Other than that, I'll give it this. I didn't love it, but I didn't hate it. It was right here.
Thank you. You almost shocked us. You were almost going in that jar, Richard-Lael. Almost. Well, it's a straight up for me, and it seems straight up for 4 out of the 5, and a pretty good up for you. How about all you guys in the chat room? Wands up from Marty. Wands up. We got a lot of wands up. I don't think we've had a legitimate wands down yet. All the way up. Wands up for a movie. It teaches us blood being thicker than water. Wands up. Wands up. I don't know if any of us know what wands up. Yeah, I loved this movie. Absolutely loved it, and it was scary and all those good things. I
give it wands down for the dad. Wands down for the dad. He was
cute.
The only time that I believed his acting was literally the last scene when the puking was gross, but the only time I believed his acting was the last scene when they told her she was cancer free, and she said, "We believe," and then he looked at her and they laughed a little bit, and that was the only genuine thing he did the entire movie.
So everything else is wands up, except if he doesn't like the dad. I think he was cute. Anyway, none of us know the movie we're watching next week, I don't think. Without Heather here, we fall apart.
Oh no.
So wait, we do. Devil's Backbone.
Oh, I love this film. Cool.
Devil's Backbone by Guillermo del Toro. So we will all find it and watch it. Good. Yay.
And
his back, his neck, his
and his crack. Also, if you would like to begin preparations for my birthday pick, it is all the Twilight movies. So get going.
All the Twilight movies. Okay. All right. It's a vampire week. All right, you guys.
Oh, real quick. Someone said, Courtney, who would you like to have been cast by the dad? Someone who could act. Probably.
Wow.
Wow. Oh, Courtney, we're going to put you in a jar. He's going to put you in a jar.
I know. I almost told them to come watch this.
You should have. They'll watch it in retrospect.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've got your back, Courtney.
And they're going to put you in a jar.
Listen, it is what it is. I loved everything else about it. The writing I thought was great. Like everything was phenomenal. He didn't feel genuine.
All right. Again, we are at that time. Anybody have anything coming up real urgent that they want to talk about in the next week? See you all late night radio at Coast to Coast, midnight Pacific, 3 a.m. Eastern, and everywhere in the middle. For all you crazy people who don't sleep, come see me, George Norrie. I'm going to go take some more waking up things, caffeine. So anyway, love you guys. One more thing. We miss you, Heather. Thanks for coming in. We miss you, Jason. Thank you, Rob, our producer, for getting us here and keeping us here. And thank you guys in the chat room and everybody watching it later. Go to Mystery Control, buy our merch, buy stuff, like us, follow us, please, individually and as a group, because it makes us happy. You like us. You really like us. And here we go. What do we do as witches? 1, 2, 3. Yeah!